We explore the universe, searching for life, for new worlds, for understanding. But here on Earth, we've created something terrifying, something that could wipe out everything we know in the blink of an eye. I'm talking about nuclear weapons. The bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were just the tip of the iceberg. Today's nuclear weapons are far more powerful, capable of unimaginable destruction. In this video, we're going to dive into the chilling reality of modern nuclear weapons, exploring the destructive potential of these arsenals that cast a long shadow over our world. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're about to take a trip through a terrifying reality. A reality where the power of the stars themselves has been harnessed for destruction. This is the terrifying power of modern nuclear weapons. Let's start with the B-83, the most powerful nuclear weapon in the United States' current arsenal. Imagine this, a bomb 80 times more powerful than the one that flattened Hiroshima. That's the B-83. This isn't just a bigger bomb, it's a fundamental leap in destructive power. We're not talking about leveling a building or even a few city blocks. We're talking about wiping a major city off the map, a metropolis like Beijing, gone in an instant. The immediate blast would vaporize structures, turning concrete and steel into dust. The shockwave would radiate outwards for miles, collapsing buildings, shattering windows, and causing massive casualties. And then there's the heat. Thousands of degrees Celsius, incinerating everything in its path. People, animals, plants, all gone. And as if that weren't enough, we have to consider the fallout. Radioactive particles would be thrown into the atmosphere, spreading on the wind for hundreds of miles. This invisible poison would contaminate water supplies, soil, and food, leading to radiation sickness, cancer, and birth defects for generations to come. The B-83 is a stark reminder of the destructive power we hold. A single weapon capable of causing millions of deaths and untold suffering. But it's just one weapon in a global arsenal of terrifying power. Our exploration of nuclear terror takes us beneath the waves to the silent depths where submarines patrol, carrying with them a nightmare scenario, the Trident II missile. Imagine this, a single missile launched from a submarine thousands of miles away, capable of delivering not one but up to 8 independently targetable nuclear warheads. Each warhead, by the way, packs a punch 30 times greater than the bomb that fell on Hiroshima. That means one Trident II missile could unleash the equivalent of 240 Hiroshima bombs on multiple targets. Think about a city like Moscow, a sprawling metropolis of millions. A single Trident II could reduce it to rubble. The devastation would be unimaginable. Buildings would crumble, fires would rage, and the death toll would be staggering, potentially exceeding 2.8 million people in the initial blast alone. The long-term effects would be equally horrific. The radioactive fallout would contaminate vast areas, rendering them uninhabitable for decades. The environmental and economic consequences would be felt globally. The Trident II is a chilling example of the indiscriminate nature of nuclear weapons. It's a weapon that doesn't distinguish between civilians and military targets, a weapon that threatens the very fabric of our civilization. Chapter 3, Dongfeng 5, The Dragon's Roar. Our journey through the landscape of nuclear weapons now takes us to China, a nation with a growing arsenal that demands our attention. At the heart of this arsenal lies the Dongfeng 5, a massive intercontinental ballistic missile with a reach that spans continents. This is not a weapon to be taken lightly. The Dongfeng 5 can carry up to 12 nuclear warheads, each one a terrifying engine of destruction, each one 66 times more powerful than the bomb that fell on Hiroshima. Imagine for a moment the Dongfeng 5 aimed at a city like Washington, D.C., the heart of the United States. The impact would be catastrophic. The iconic monuments, the White House, the Capitol building, all reduced to dust in a flash of unimaginable heat and fury. Over 1 million lives would be extinguished in an instant. The surrounding areas would be devastated by the blast wave and fires, leaving behind a radioactive wasteland. The Dongfeng 5 is a stark reminder that the threat of nuclear war is not confined to one or two superpowers. It's a global threat, one that requires global cooperation and a commitment to disarmament. Chapter 4, R36, The Devil's Weapon. Our exploration of nuclear weapons takes us now to Russia, a nation with a long and complicated history with these weapons of unimaginable power. Here we encounter the R36, a missile so terrifying it's earned the nickname Satan. But even Satan seems an inadequate name when you consider the destructive force this weapon can unleash. Some versions of the R36 can carry a single warhead with a yield of up to 20 megatons. Let that sink in for a moment. 20 million tons of TNT equivalent. That's over 1,300 times the power of the bomb that leveled Hiroshima. We're not talking about destroying a city here, we're talking about obliterating it, carving a crater into the earth where a metropolis once stood. The blast wave from a 20 megaton detonation would be felt for hundreds of miles. The thermal pulse would ignite fires over an immense area, creating firestorms that would consume everything in their path. And the fallout, a radioactive nightmare spreading across continents, poisoning the land, water and air, leaving behind a legacy of death and disease for generations. The R-36 is a stark reminder of the madness of the nuclear arms race, a weapon of unimaginable power that threatens the very existence of humanity. Chapter 5, RS-28, Sarmat, the Harbinger of Armageddon. We've journeyed through a landscape of nuclear horror, but our final destination is perhaps the most terrifying of all. This is the realm of the RS-28 Sarmat, a weapon so powerful, so destructive, that it makes the other weapons on this list pale in comparison. Nicknamed Satan II, this Russian behemoth is the next generation of fear, a weapon that pushes the boundaries of destruction. Imagine a missile carrying up to 15 independently targetable warheads, each one capable of unleashing hell on Earth. But the true horror of the RS-28 lies in its potential to deliver a single warhead with a yield of up to 50 megatons. That's 50 million tons of TNT equivalent, more than 3,300 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb. Words fail to capture the devastation such a weapon could inflict. A single RS-28 could effectively wipe out an entire state like New York. The blast, the heat, the radiation, it would be unlike anything humanity has ever witnessed. The very thought of the RS-28 should send chills down our spines. It's a weapon that represents the absolute worst of humanity's capacity for destruction, a weapon that has no place on our planet. As we've journeyed through this terrifying landscape of modern nuclear weapons, one thing should be abundantly clear. This is not a game, and these are not abstract concepts. These are real weapons with real consequences, capable of causing unimaginable suffering and destruction on a scale that defies comprehension. The true scale of modern nuclear weapons shows that in a nuclear war there are no winners, only devastating loss for humanity. We've created these weapons out of fear and mistrust, but we can't let them dictate our future. The only way to ensure that these weapons are never used is to eliminate them entirely. We have the power to choose a different path, a path of peace, diplomacy and disarmament. It's time for all nations to come together and work towards a world free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. Our future and the future of our planet depends on it.